Welcome, guys, to the 45th episode of the Dapper Gaming Podcast for January 19th. I'm your host, Ryan. With me, as always, Tyler.
What's up?
And then special guest, SmashMaster Chris of SmashMaster Show.
Hi.
Hi.
Best name ever, I know. It took me a whole 2 seconds to come up with that name when I started the YouTube channel. I was like, what is an adjective and a verb, or wait, I messed up already.
A verb and
Never
a
wait.
noun?
It's not a verb. It's I don't know. Okay, my name sucks. Continuing on with
I'm
the
assuming
podcast now.
I'm assuming that it's because you're a master of Smash. Not the video game, just smashing things, right?
Well, both. Why not both? The game and real things in real life. I don't know.
You were casted for the new Hulk movie, but you turned it down.
Yeah, I was like, no, it's okay. I don't want it. It's I don't want to be in a movie with Robert Downey Jr. No. Why would I want to? No, thank you.
But you guys could do blow off of hookers' asses.
Damn it!
I know,
Could
right?
have done that.
But you'd have to deal with Robert Downey Jr.
I mean, maybe in the old days when he did a lot of drugs. I don't know how many drugs he does now, but
No, from what I know, he was big on it back in the day, but then he got like super clean, and that's why he's in all these awesome movies, because he kicked that shit so hard. So
he's a master of life.
as far as I know, for all I know, maybe every now and again he's like, the good old days. All right, back to my regular routine.
I bet he was funner back when he did drugs. Everyone was.
Stay
Actually,
back in
you know
school.
what? There's only one instance of a group of people stopping doing drugs and then getting really bad at whatever they did, and that's the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Because, man, Stadium Arcadium is a bad album. And whatever they followed that up with, equally bad.
I don't think I listened to any of them. Maybe I did and I don't remember, but I don't know.
Stadium Arcadium was
It was a big album a few years ago.
yeah, didn't it have Snow and some other song that
I don't remember what's on it because none of it is fucking.
No, Danny California
funky.
was on it, right?
Yeah, it was. But you know what? None of it is funky. So I
Funky?
don't care. Yeah, because Red Hot Chili Peppers were a fucking funk punk band.
Gotta have those funks.
They did Magic Johnson, one of the fucking best albums ever. Mother's Milk is like their best album, and it's like all funk music, and I'm just like, yeah. And they're like, we don't do drugs anymore, so we're sad. I'm like, fuck you.
We don't do drugs.
Get good.
Here's milk, though.
Yeah. Nature's
Mother's
drug.
Milk was back when they did do drugs. It was awesome.
Oh, okay.
They stopped, and then they're just like, California.
I don't do drugs. I do plenty of milk. I don't do drugs though. So that's good.
Good for you. So we should probably talk about video games.
Oh yeah, right. This was a video game podcast. I forgot. We started on with Robert Downey Jr. and Mother's Milk.
So I guess first, even before we get to video games, but after drugs, it goes drugs.
Brooks.
Guest introduces themselves.
Robert
video
Downey
games.
Jr.
So Chris, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am Chris, obviously. Whoa, holy crap. I do a YouTube show called SmashMaster Show. It's nothing completely special. It was, I don't know. I had my YouTube channel for like 7 years, so I've been around since the heyday of YouTube. I've seen some stuff, man. But I didn't actually start getting like serious until like 2 years ago. So a lot of my earlier stuff is absolute complete garbage in my opinion, and I also think I still have a long way to go. But my show is basically just, I just do comedic reviews of video games, and I hope that I'm funny, and if not, well, shit, I guess I don't have your subscription. Oh, shucks. And I don't know, it's I don't tackle anything specific. I just do whatever I'm like, ooh, I can make a clever fart joke out of that. Just anything that comes to my mind, and just I generally try and have a good time with my stuff. I try and I also stream a little often to try and interact with the, I hate calling them fans, but I'm gonna go ahead and just
People?
for the sake of my
People.
argument here, call them fans. I stream a lot to connect with them or whatever. It's, I don't know. I'm not in it for the popularity, which a lot of people are. I'm just in it for the good times and the happiness and the joy.
You don't belong here. This is purely a business. We have no joy here.
Damn it. So yeah, just I don't know. I'm here for the good time. And that's about it. Other than that, I usually just sit around the house all day and stare at my wall. Other than that, that's about it. Sorry.
That's okay. That is.
You're allowed to do that. It's all good.
All right, good.
I'm not the boss of you.
As long as I have your approval. As long as I have your approval, I'm gonna go back to staring at the wall now. All right. So that is me.
Normally, when there is no news / like structured topics, like if I guess like the end of the year when we did the end of the Game of the Year podcast, we didn't do anything but talk about the Game of the Year. But normally, if we don't have anything to talk about, we talk about what games we've been playing this week. So we'll start off with you, Chris. What games have you been playing?
Well, let me take a quick look-see over here. I've been playing, well, I haven't been playing, like, I technically beat it a while ago, but I've been doing A Link Between Worlds. I did, like, virtually everything. I beat Hero Mode, all the heart containers, all the bottles, all that other wonderful junk. The one thing I'm still trying to finish is those Street Pass challenges where, like, you'll pass a person and then in your game there's like a random Dark Link appears in the field or whatever, and you can beat his ass up and get rupees out of it. But along with that, there's like a list of Street Pass challenges that you can do, like win in a certain time period, win with a specific item, whatever. And I'm almost done with them. I'm up to I have 45 out of 50 or something. So lately, it's just been me taking my 3DS everywhere I walk, praying to God that someone else has a 3DS in their pocket too with this game, so I can try to get another challenge done. And I don't know, there's been that. I've also been playing.
Just go to PAX. All of the Street Pass.
It
gets scary.
I'm not gonna go to a con specifically for like here. I'm gonna spend $300 for a plane ticket and $50 to get inside, just so I can complete 5 challenges on a video game. Just for that. That's the whole reason I'm going to a convention. That's But yeah, so I'm almost done with that. It's an awesome game too. When I did play it and I was going through it, it's good. Coming from someone who. I've played Link to the Past, but I haven't I'm not
beat it.
I haven't played it like everyone else who they beat it or whatever. Like yeah, and so there was Link Between Worlds. What else? I played the popular mod for Smash Brothers Brawl that came out, which was Project M. It's version 3.0 it's on now, and that's awesome because it takes the best aspects from Brawl and Melee and it combines them together. Like it makes Brawl play a little more faster. No tripping. Hallelujah. That's like no tripping is should be the only reason you download the mod to begin with. No. But
what do you have to have a modded Wii to have that? How does?
No. If you had to have a modded Wii, I would not be able to play it because I'm dumb when it comes to modding my Wii.
It's pretty simple then.
You can just slap it on an SD card, slap it in, and boom, you got it for the most part. It's a little tiny more complicated than that, but other than that.
But it sounds basically like how you do most of their stuff because I messed around with transferring save files with an SD card and it's pretty plug and play, but No, that's I went to Smash tournament on campus once, and they only played. I mean, it was Melee, but they also had Project M going in. I didn't get a chance to play it. I watched a little bit of it, and it looked pretty interesting. But I've heard like quite a few good things about it, so I'll have to actually do it.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's like there's still like a couple of little tiny things that are like number one, there's like a couple of stages that were in Brawl that they took out for the sake of balance or whatever that I kind of liked, and I'm like, oh well, shucks, can't play on that stage in Project M. But
Yeah.
but then I'm like, oh right, I can play as Mewtwo in Brawl, so that's good.
Oh, really? So they actually add content to it? They don't just.
Yeah, it's like other than changing, they modify a lot of the characters' movesets so that like Meta Knight isn't God tier anymore, and like other characters, like who was a really shitty character. In my opinion, Rob was a pretty shitty character. Here, he can actually put up a fight.
Yeah.
It's just it's a
More balancing act.
much balanced game. The whole cast of characters. Some moves have been completely switched around. Some moves have been added. Like Snake now has a tranquilizer gun, which I think is pretty neato. And some characters have alternate costumes too. Like they gave Mario the Dr. Mario outfit instead of making him a entirely different playable character.
Yeah.
Still so dumb to me. And they gave like what was another really awesome costume that I'm like, whoa. Shit, I can't think right. I'm gonna go ahead and skip that just because I can't think of anything right now. But a lot of the alternate costumes are really awesome, and I don't know. It's just I feel like I'm rambling a bit too much on this. So I'm gonna cut it short. But it's overall just it's awesome mod, and I recommend anyone who likes Melee and wasn't too big on Brawl to check it out. And even if you liked Brawl anyway, you should like this. It's the official SmashMaster Show seal of approval, which is a simple thumb on a hand. It's
going
awesome.
Upwards, not downwards.
Going
if it's this
upwards.
way, it's the wrong way.
This is a very important direction. This is very important. It's going up. And then there was one more game, and I having a massive brain fart right now. I can't remember what it was. It was I was I don't know. I dabbled in a little bit like Kingdom Hearts. I don't know. I was like just bored this week, so I just like Kingdom Hearts was lying around, so I tossed Kingdom Hearts 2 in, and for some reason I have like a whole lot of like how Kingdom Hearts 2 has like 99 save files. For some reason I have like a whole bunch of save files where it's like I saved right before a boss. So I just spent one day just like going through my save files and just refighting every boss. They basically just skipping the entirety of the game, just going straight to the bosses. So there was that too. So I had a very, and then when it wasn't games, it was homework. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of homework. My life is very interesting.
I feel your pain on that homework part. Fucking, I have so much of it.
It's
and
like
some of the stuff I can't do at home, I have to do it like in the computer lab because I don't have access to the database I need to access from outside of campus. Not even from outside of campus. I have to be in a building, like a specific building, to access the database. Otherwise, I get blocked by the firewall. It's just like, damn it, Uvik.
Well, in that regard, I'm pretty lucky because so far I've managed to do everything I need to do from the comfort of my own chair here. It's and it's also not anything math related either, so that's another plus.
It's all math related.
It's
so much math.
My God, it's not for me right now. So, but when that time does come around, I'm gonna cry. I'm just gonna big cry. I don't know.
Right after we finish this podcast, I have to go do calculus on matrices. It was going to be fun.
That sounds very interesting.
I'll keep you in my prayers.
I can't even remember. I don't even remember linear algebra, let alone calculus, and now I have to go do both of them.
Why are we talking about math? I just realized.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Geez, let's get out of this
but
It's
it's so fun. Math
No,
is the
it's-
Let
best.
us leave
So,
these dangerous
Ryan-
waters before we crash into the rocks.
What have you been playing, Ryan?
I go last. You know that.
I want to.
You're before me.
Yeah, Tyler,
Fun.
you dummy.
Jesus.
I got Hearthstone, as I mentioned before the podcast. Yeah. I played a couple rounds of that.
So you didn't mention it because
I
outside
didn't.
of
That
these
was-
little
yeah.
these little webcams in this
I don't-
recording, nothing happens.
True. No. I got that. It has been fun. I haven't really played that many matches. I think I've played like 3 or 4. Like against actual people. I like playing against bots. I don't know. It's just something.
It takes a while to figure out because
Yeah.
that game, once you figure out how you should be building decks, it gets a lot better. Also, you have to figure out what classes are completely poop.
Yeah,
They're getting a lot closer to balanced though.
that's
It
what
used to
all
be
my
like
friends say.
only play paladin or priest
Yeah,
because everything else was awful.
because everyone keeps complaining about like how you can do so much damage with like 2 shots, and I don't know. I'm not really at that point right now because I have so few cards, but it's fun. I don't know. I just forget I have it because I don't have a shortcut for it on my desktop, and I keep forgetting to put it into Steam to remind me I have it. But I have no icons on my desktop. That's how I operate. I only have my recycle bin.
I
don't know.
I don't even have the recycle bin, man.
That's why I keep
I
it
just
in.
have the quick links on the bottom in the taskbar.
Yeah, I got those are full and on the right side too. But what else? I played a lot of Counter-Strike. I think it was Friday. That's all I did. And I haven't played that game in forever. There's not an update to it. It's Counter-Strike and I was doing good. And I actually had a friend play with me for once. And I had someone add me too. So it was it was a successful time. But that's kind of weird because the person that added me basically got into a game that I was doing really well in and then added me based off that. I'm like, okay. But, like, they didn't say a word. I didn't say anything because I usually don't talk in that game.
You have a high KD ratio. Let me friend you and then never talk to you ever.
That's exactly how it goes. And then like
So
I have no
Counter-Strike.
friends. I decline all of the requests I get on Steam if I don't know the person. So I'm just like, nope, ignore.
I usually accept Steam requests just because I'm probably like one of the 2 people on the planet who doesn't use Steam a lot anyway. So I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I'm probably not even gonna talk to you anyway. I usually it's because the people who usually talk to me on Steam are like they know who I am and it's like, Chris, I love your stuff, and/or I want to link you to another the 50th Shrek source filmmaker movie I found this week.
Yeah.
So I'm usually like, okay, I'll watch another one. Haha, it was humorous. Thanks for sharing. And then I'm gonna go cry in the corner in about 2 seconds. But okay, yeah, that's what I use Steam for. Everyone else uses it to play games. I use it to get linked source filmmaker Shrek videos.
Yeah, if I get sent like random friends requests, I'm just like, our show has a Steam group. Join it. Want to play games with us? Join this Steam group. Join the Steam group. Join the Steam group.
Join the official Steam group for games.
Yeah, I usually just add people because I usually just jump in games with
I just don't
people I
want to
know
fill
on
my
Counter-Strike.
friends list up because
In case you get-
it's really manageable at 20. Actually, I think it's like 40. But
Then at
20 of the
thir- then
people
at-
haven't logged on in
Then at
forever.
30,000, things get a little out of hand.
Yeah,
Well-
okay, like, I listen to the Giant Bomb cast a lot, like, the Giant Bomb podcast, and those dudes have, like, they fucking capped the PS4 friends list, like, all of them. They're like, yeah, I hit 10,000 friends, and I can't manage my friends list. I can't even find the people that I want to talk to that I know in the real life. I'm just like, see, why would you ever just accept random friend requests? Because if you, if you do it,
Because I
you
love
can't stop
friends.
doing it.
Yeah,
I love friends.
Steam is way more manageable though. I think the cap used to be 100 something, and then with the new community updates they've had,
You can unlock more fucking friends.
yeah,
oh my
which doesn't
god,
make
it's
any-
so...
it makes no sense. I mean, just give us that. That's a
They're
feature
like,
that,
you could have 5 more friends because you hit level 16.
yeah, because that doesn't show you how dedicated you are to playing games at all. It's how dedicated you are to filling fucking achievements, and it's just
You're not even
It's
filling
brainless.
achievements, though, to go up in Steam level.
Well,
You're
sometimes.
buying cards.
well, yeah, or you're doing the summer and the winter sale stuff where it's
Yeah,
it's
buying
dumb.
cards.
Look at how much money I can spend.
No.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Hey, man,
Basically.
it used to be worse. In the when they introduced badges and trading cards way back in the day, Like the first like revision of it. Do you remember the summer scavenger hunt where they're like, you need to get these 5 achievements for this game you don't own, and you have to do it within the next 24 hours. So if you buy this game right now, then you can get a badge.
Yeah, cards. Okay, but when that beta first hit, that was awesome because cards used to sell for like 50 cents a piece, and now the market's just so fucking blown apart that they go for like 10. And it was so cool because you'd be like,
what are you talking about, man? I bought the couple Witcher cards to finish off my badge because that's the only game I care about, and I wanted the backgrounds.
You
They were like 50 cents a piece. I know, but I don't care. I wanted the fancy badge and the backgrounds.
No, and it's the
badges mean something to no one.
Some games still sell for a lot, and I'm pretty sure it's like games that no one buys, or it's like barely like not that played.
People might not buy the cards is the thing.
I don't know, but yeah, maybe
because I've seen some of those cards go for like not sell, but be posted for way too much money, like $130. I'm like, okay, get out of here.
What I'm pretty sure happens now is they use the community market as like a, I don't know how you would explain it, but you buy like a certain item off that for a lot of money, and then you get traded like games. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I like that. I think that's what a lot of people are using it for. Because like if you look on the like previously bought for a certain item, sometimes they'll just have a huge spike where one sold for like $80, and you're like, that's bullshit. Who paid that much money for it? And it's probably like,
so people are using it as a means of trading gifts.
Basically that's what I'm guessing it is. That's what it feels like. So
probably, maybe.
Anywho, that's all I played, and that's my rant about
the underground Steam trading economy.
Yeah, that's my game.
That's the game that you play this week.
Yep.
You were selling giant underground drills.
You were buying cards while I was trying to just walk by people who have the same game I do. This is the future of gaming, my friends.
Yeah,
embrace it.
2014 is going to be a great year. I'm going to buy cards that don't exist for little badges on a profile no one looks at. And I'm going to walk around downtown with my fucking 3DS that I don't own yet, but I mean one day I'm going to buy one cuz I want one. I don't have money cuz I'm poor, cuz I'm a student. Because I'm poor. It doesn't matter.
Because everything.
Yeah, just cause the world.
Because stuff. That's all you need to know.
Things. The movie from 1983. The worst movie ever made. Worse than Trolls 2.
I don't know. I haven't even seen it, and I would probably debate you on that, but that's a whole...
It's worse because the story's worse, but there's also a lot more technical flaws regarding actually operating a camera. Because they don't know how to. It's a Canadian movie. We take great pride in our movies that look really, really bad.
I don't know. When people ask me what I think the worst movie is, I just like by instinct I just go The Room. When probably there's probably like just
Trolls 2. Trolls 2 is worse than The Room.
And it's like I don't even think it's like The Room's bad, but it's like it's not like bad like I can't watch this bad. It's like I must watch this bad. I don't know.
Trolls 2 is very much like that as well.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. But let's get on to games. So I played games this week.
You did? Whoa.
Cool.
I know.
Let's just skip you this week. We'll switch it up a little bit.
No, I demand to talk about this game. I fucking specifically asked the question so that when it got around to me, I could talk about this game. This is my podcast, damn it.
So what was it?
So I played 3 games this week. I played Path of Exile because I need to farm items and orbs and things and
stuff.
Min-max my character so that they have a 100% dodge chance. They only have 80% dodge chance now.
Wow.
From 98.
You're only slightly overpowered.
No. Now I'm underpowered because I get fucking hit and I die. Because I can only take like 2 hits. It sucks.
Never mind. You're not overpowered.
Not at all. I just dodge everything.
Or maybe you are overpowered, but you're just like really like I don't know. Maybe you're like a big guy who can shoot 500 lasers, but if someone pokes you, you're like, "Ow, stop it!"
But I don't even do that much damage. It doesn't matter. I play that because I have to farm orbs because that game's the better version of Diablo, so I have to play it, and it's free. and there's nothing. And the microtransactions are super fair. As in,
Free
they don't.
stuff.
The microtransactions are like, do you want a special effect, like visual effect on your helmet? Because that's the only thing we sell. It's like,
Do you
sort of
wanna
refreshing.
Do you want to look different and not have any effect on the gameplay at all? This is for you.
Yeah, basically, they're like hats. But
Look at all this free stuff that means nothing.
But I was playing that because I have to play it. Just it's an addiction. I've been playing Project Spark, which was the like game creating game announced alongside the Xbox One.
Yeah,
that was for Windows 8. Did you see that at all?
I saw it like at E3. I haven't like and it looked cool, but I'm like, it's on Xbox One, right?
Well, it's also on Windows.
Because I know it was at the Microsoft conference, but it's like on Xbox One, or what is it on?
Windows 8.1 and Xbox One.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have either. So I mean, so basically, E3 was the only time I saw it, and I'm like, this looks cool, but I'm not getting an Xbox One anytime soon. So shoot.
Do
Yeah.
you have to buy it?
No, it's in beta. It's already set up with microtransactions in a way that was sort of frustrating.
Do you get more?
You
You
can
get more like object points, so you can have more stuff in your world.
No, you can't add more stuff in your world, but you can get different types of objects. So what happens is like you've used the expand land tool for 3 hours total. So here's some points, and you like level up your like not character, because I mean you're fucking making a game world, so you're not really a person. But they're like, you can spend this on stuff. And I'm like, I have 3,000 credits. And it's like, spend 120,000 credits to unlock this pack. Or you can buy it with tokens. And the tokens, they don't even let you buy tokens yet, I don't think. So I can't buy anything because I don't have enough credit. And you don't gain any, like, at all for doing anything. So hopefully they change that, but I mean, it's in beta. It's in closed beta at that. So, I mean, they can change that. It's changeable. It can be fixed. But,
You can change it.
I've been building this, like, small third-person action game quest thingy, like, adventure. And I've built the world, put all of the stuff in it, and now I need to, like, script it so that you get a quest, and then when you do the quest, stuff happens. And the fucking scripting is awful. It's like
sounds like it.
You like the scripting, you just have like these big blocks, and you have to like drag, like you're like add a block, and then have to go through like fucking 10 circle menus to get to the block that you want. And so it's like set up to be used with a controller because it's gonna be on Xbox One. But I'm using a fucking mouse, and it's just like, you know what? If you just give me a big-ass list, I could drag and drop all this shit in way faster than navigating through 10 menus. And, like, the organization of the menus doesn't make sense. You're like, so the scripting is broken into, like, when and do. And so it's like, when the when condition is met, do the stuff on the right. And I want to be like, when this, do this for like 10 seconds, and it's impossible to like nest things correctly so that you run out of time, like to get the timers working and shit. And it's just, the scripting in that game is awful for me, because I just want to like write code. I want to use my keyboard, and it's just like building blocks for children, and I'm just like, no.
Is that? I mean, what's the target audience for that? Is it
fucking? I don't know. Not programmers.
I guess pretty much anyone with an imagination and a desire to create virtual. If you're a boring old man, you're not gonna like the game. I guess I don't know.
Like, okay, it's really cool, but the scripting basically suffers the same kind of problems that anytime when you try to make a toolkit like this that's easy to use, that anyone could pick up, that it becomes kind of obtuse and oversimplified and just kind of like hard to work with. as a result of the simplification. Like, it's not smooth because you have to make people not write bad lines of code. And so it's just like, damn it. Because, like, I wouldn't do that. And so it would just be so much easier if I could type. But I'm not allowed to. Because people who don't know what they're doing would do bad things. But whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like if and when I ever get an Xbox One, which doesn't look to be like the only game out on Xbox One right now that like I really care about is Dead Rising 3. And I was so sad when it was because like Dead Rising 2 was like on PlayStation and Xbox, and it's like Dead Rising 3 was like Xbox exclusive. I'm like, aw, damn it.
Yeah, but Dead Rising 1 was Xbox exclusive as well.
Well, I had a 360 though, so therefore I'm happy. Yay. But yeah,
I didn't like that game because it was fucking back when I didn't have an HD TV, and so you couldn't read any of the text.
That was
because all of the early Xbox 360 games were like, you need an HD TV if you want to read.
You need an HD TV to do anything. Welcome to Xbox. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome because it's just like I can't even read the UI. The fucking text is so small. I'm like, HD. I'm like, this is only good though if we have HD TVs. Well, I set my Xbox to 480.
Well, thankfully I got the first game around when I got an HD TV, so thankfully that wasn't a problem for me. It's a good game, but it's like I think what kind of bummed it down for me was I played that after I played Dead Rising 2 first. And that game improved like everything, and then you go back to Dead Rising 1 and you're like, why can't Frank move and shoot? It's so simple. I can do that if someone gave me a gun right now. It's easy. Just move your feet and shoot zombies. That's it.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
That's
so it's
just frustrating.
A lot of things. If I would imagine at the time Dead Rising was like, yeah, it's this awesome thing, but then Dead Rising 2 came out and it's like Dead Rising's like the only thing that game's got going for it is Frank West. Other than that, I don't know. It was good. I think like zombie killing video games are getting too plentiful, but I always liked Dead Rising, which means I'm gonna have to find a way to play the new one. I don't know anyone who has an Xbox One, and I don't want to settle for watching cutscenes on YouTube. So, and I've already had one plot element spoiled for me, and I'm like, oh, darn it. So, I got to play it before I find out anything else, and it makes me cry even more.
I had that whole
console
game spoiled for
exclusivity,
me.
man. Damn it. It sucks.
I had that whole game spoiled for me, but I'm not really worried about it because I'm not super interested in it. Plus, I mean, it's a Dead Rising story, so whatever.
I'm worried about it because I like the series. Screw you, man. I
mean, I like it, but I mean, the story's not like the best part.
That's not the best part, but at the same time, it's like it's enough to the point where I do kind of want to play through and see what happens and not be told everything from the outset. It's like it's like a Mario game. Bowser can as a princess. Oh, geez, whoa. But it's like this. Even if it's not a story that's like, even if it's not a story that you like, you still kind of want to be like, okay, what's gonna happen next that I'm not gonna like? You know, at the very, whether you like it or not, you still don't want to really be spoiled. You kind of want to just, I don't know, as it happens, even if you end up not liking it at all, just whatever. I don't know. Me and my crazy standards. Just
So, I played one other game this week that has basically consumed my week, but I'm not going to play it anymore because I did everything I needed to do in that game. So I played the Banner Saga, which was really, really good. The Banner Saga is a game that got kickstarted last year. It's made by Stoic Entertainment, or Stoic Games, I think. They're from Austin, and the three guys in that company are all ex-BioWare devs.
Wow.
And the Banner Saga is this entirely rotoscoped, animated, like hand-animated game about like Vikings, basically, and it's like a role-playing tactics game. And it was like it's one of the few games where the second I started playing it, I was like really engaged and just wanted to keep playing it. And I played it. I bought it, like had to go to school, came home, it was finished downloading, and played it until I was like done. Just because it was really engaging. I was like, sat down at 3 o'clock and I was like, I'm hungry. Just like
but the
a little
fridge
bit
is
more.
so far away, and this game is right here in my hand.
There's no food in my house. I would have had to go and buy food.
Oh,
so
okay,
it would have taken. It would have taken. Yeah,
there is such things as delivery.
It was too late.
Yeah.
I'm not buying enough food. I didn't want to eat pizza, and that's the only thing that I can really get delivered. Besides Chinese food, but I can't eat Chinese food. It upsets my stomach, and
oh no,
just,
you're basically living in hell.
Man.
And
you basically.
No. So why did you say you can't? Like you're not gonna play it anymore? I know you said it's single player and multiplayer, but
there's the multiplayer part's different. But it's a separate game. But I beat it twice this week.
Oh damn.
And it's a surprisingly long game. It's 8 hours long. And the second playthrough, I played for way more than 8 hours. Because the first playthrough, I sat down and I played it properly. The game auto saves all the goddamn time. So what it is it's a tactics RPG mixed with Oregon Trail, basically. And so you're leading like this big caravan. And as you're leading this caravan between cities, like you get a bunch of different events that happen. It's like strangers approach you and ask you to like threaten you to leave supplies for them, and they're like, and then you could like question them and be like, we can't give you supplies, but if you join us and fight with us, then you can like have some of our supplies. And then it would be like, and before anything happened, arrows came out of the trees, and like your clansmen started to fall, and like explains it in like all this detail that basically you're being shot to death by arrows. And then it's like, and now you're in a fight, and then like you get a tactics, like a grid, like a tactics.
You are now in a fight. You are now getting shot. You're dead. Oops.
Well, it's like
Sorry.
your clansmen are being shot, and then like it'll be like minus 100 clansmen from the caravan, and then it's like, and then it goes to like the fight screen where you have like your guys and set them up on the tiles, and then like it's a turn-based tactics game. There's tiles, you move around on the tiles and attack the other guys, kill them with your special abilities. And the combat in that game is really cool though, because you have like this strength stat which affects how much damage you do, but it's also how much health your character has. And so like as your character takes damage, they do less damage. And so you kind of have this motivation not to kill characters right away, but rather to weaken all of the enemies so that they have like 1 or 2 strength left, and then start killing them. Because if you get them down, you also have like an armor stat. So if their strength is way less than the armor, then like their hits like get deflected off of it instead of doing any damage. And it's a really neat mechanic that I haven't seen in any other tactics games, because normally they're separated. But I also don't think it would make sense in a game like, let's say, Shadowrun Returns, which is another tactics RPG, but you have guns, and so being hurt doesn't make a gun less effective.
Yeah.
But in this game, you have bows and arrows and not guns. So.
I always found RPGs with the guns like interesting. It's, not even just like regular RPGs, it's like turn-based RPGs. You're standing there, you're just like, okay, you're just not even just, well, dang it, he shot me. You're just standing there.
That's funny that you bring that up, because when I played XCOM, I didn't really consider that. You know, I mean, it is a shooting RPG, and I'm like, now that you say like you do more damage as you level up, it's kind of like, oh yeah. But I guess in that game it makes.
But in
more
that
sense,
game, it's like you get their justification is like, you have better aim, and so you can hit them in like more vital spots. And get crits. But
or get crazy weapons.
But yeah, like in the Banner Saga, this like kind of mechanic makes sense, because like you're using a bow and arrow. So I mean, if you can barely pull the arrow back, then it's less effective. Or if you're using a sword and you're like fucking like dead, basically, then it's less effective.
Yeah,
but
makes sense.
The art assets in that game are stunning. The entire game is hand animated, like I said. It looks like a 1950s Disney movie, and like
I'll play it.
the
That sounds cool.
it feels good. Like this, everything, like the way that your characters fire their bow or like swing their sword and stuff looks like hefty. Like it looks like it has weight, and then paired with the sound assets, like everything sounds like visceral. And the guy who did the Journey soundtrack also did the soundtrack for this, and it's equally as good. Like the soundtrack is amazing, and they've built this really interesting world that I just want to see more of. Like it's just super interesting world.
But then why did you say you're not planning on playing it anymore?
Because the second time I played it, I save scummed it so that I could see every possible outcome of every single conversation. And so I've gone through every single choice in that game. And I beat that game twice in like a fucking week. And I've seen all of the story that there is in that game. Because the first time I played it
That makes more
properly and
sense.
recorded the whole thing. And the second time, because I'm working on a review for this game. Because this year I'm going to do one review a month to like supplement with the podcast. Because we do the podcast every week, but reviews come sporadically basically when I have time. And it's because what happens is I buy like 5 games and I'm like, I want to review all of these, and then just never get around to it because there's too many fucking games. But now I'm just gonna pick one game, focus on it, do the review. And so the first time like I recorded the whole game of me just playing it properly, and then the second time I recorded me save scumming it so that I have every conversation and all of the outcomes. Because the outcomes in that game are really cool. It'll be like you're surrounded by the enemy in the forest, and like you'll be like, well, I want to charge headfirst into them and attack and fight my way out of the forest. And you can lose that fight, and it's not like game over, you died. It's like your soldiers dragged you out of the forest and saved you, minus 100 soldiers. Oops, I just hit my desk. But it'll be like minus 100 soldiers.
Unprofessional.
Minus 100 soldiers, and then like these 2 characters from like your roster are dead or like disappeared, and then you no longer have them for the rest of the game, because like you have a bunch of different like main characters that join your party or like join your caravan that you can use in the fights and level them up and give them gear and shit. And if depending on if you win or lose key battles, like they could possibly die, and it's really interesting. It's just a really well done game.
It does sound like it. I haven't played like enough action RPGs too. I mean, I have. Would you consider Heroes of Might and Magic that type, right? Or is that?
Yeah, that's like a strategy tactics RPG.
Yeah. But
because I mean, like you have like the turn-based strategy screen where you're moving your hero,
right.
But when you go into combat, like you get the tactics screen. So,
yeah.
But this is just the tactics stuff. It's basically the Oregon Trail meets like Fire Emblem, and it's so goddamn good.
Both of those games, 2 of my favorite games ever.
2 of your favorite games ever.
Oregon Trail, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm working on a review for that right now, and that game is it's amazing. It's really unique.
Yeah,
So,
I didn't know it was hand drawn. That's also pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think some of it's mocapped, but a lot of it is rotoscoped. Rotoscoping is what they used to do for the old like animations, like the 1950s Disney stuff, where what you do is you film it with a camera, and then you project from the camera through like a diffused piece of glass, and then onto like a piece of paper or something like that, and then like the animator like draws over top of it, like they animate over the reference. The thing is that because animation is not tracing, like it doesn't look like tracing, because you have to change things from the image that you get, because it won't look right in animation, but you use it as like your reference, and it's just really, it produced all of this really great animation that you don't get anymore because everyone just uses Flash or whatever. And I just don't like, this game just has that animation style that you haven't seen in a really long time. The first time I saw it, it instantly reminded me of the Lord of the Rings movie, the animated one, where they only did the first half of the Lord of the Rings, or was it the Hobbit? Doesn't matter. It's an old. Is it the Hobbit?
I think so, but I like barely know what you're talking about.
But like, it has like that old European animation style, and it just looks really good. So, if you haven't like looked at the art in the Banner Saga, then I highly recommend it because it's great. Like, just looking at the game, I mean, you should probably be sold.
You don't have to play it, you just have to look at it, and you're good.
But yeah, that's a great game, and I really highly recommend it, so...
Keep that for your list of 2014 games.
Dude, it's already on the list for 2014 games, because it's the first game to make it on the list, because it's the first game I played this year. But when we get around to the end of 2014, if that game doesn't take home best looking game of 2014 in the Game of the Year podcast, I'll be pissed.
Sorry, something crazy came out.
Or something crazy came out. But I mean, like, we're not giving it to fucking whatever we gave it to this year. I can't even remember.
I don't know. It's done. Who cares? It's old news.
You must have really loved that game 2 weeks later. You're like, what did I say was the best game of the year last year?
Not best game. Best looking.
Art.
Just best looking. It was like best art.
Best looking. I'm sorry.
Oh fuck! I think I gave it to BioShock just because of like the world design.
Yeah.
Well, BioShock did look really good.
Yeah, I just couldn't remember because it was like a bunch of weird looking games and like BioShock in that category. And I think I put games in there just to mention that they had good water. I think, like, I put Assassin's Creed 4 in there. I was like, Assassin's Creed 4. It's not winning, guys. I just like to note that it has really great water.
Guys,
the waves look good.
You have to get Assassin's Creed. Look at this water.
Yeah, basically.
It's so great. I mean, just screw the killing people thing. That's so last never. Look at this water.
Well, the boat part's the only good part of that game, so...
I've heard that it's called Black Flag, right?
Black Flag.
Because
it's about pirates.
I've heard it's actually really good. Actually, I haven't been able to pick it up yet though, but I'm probably going to eventually. But then again, I say that about like every game ever, so I don't know.
It's the best Assassin's Creed yet, but only because the boat stuff is really good and the assassin-y stuff is the exact same. So I played that game until I got tired of the boat stuff, and I was like, you want me to do the campaign? Go fuck yourself, and just, like, closed out of the game. Because, like, it's so boring. The campaign is so brutally boring. But, the boat stuff...
I don't know.
The boat stuff was solid.
I gotta try it out myself, I guess. I don't know.
So,
I hear a lot of mixed opinions on a lot of things. I'm just like, I don't know who to believe. What is right and what is wrong. Why are we alone in the universe? You know?
No.
Just whatever.
So, we're going to jump into some news in a second, but it's Tyler's turn to read the message from our sponsor.
So we're going to do the...
you have to read the thing. You got to have a book to suggest in everything.
You have to open your mouth to make words.
I want to spitball a little bit, though.
You don't have to read exactly what's on the page, but I mean, you got...
No, I will.
You do have to read the URL, or else we get no references.
All right. Quiet on the set. So for all you Dapper Gaming podcast listeners out there, Audible.com is offering you a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. Personally, my recommendation is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. It's really relevant to this podcast because there's actually a video game, in case you haven't played it.
There's not just one video game. There's fucking 10 of them now.
There's 527 or something.
I mean, I guess the two that are relevant to me would be Vegas. But anywho, if you want to check out this book and you can listen to it, they read the book for you. Go to...
It's like a podcast about books.
Yeah.
How much more lazier can you possibly get? Yeah.
Go to audibletrial.com/Dapper.
That's right.
Is it right?
Yep.
Awesome.
audibletrial.com/Dapper.
You can check it out there. Get your trial started and check out Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas.
Don't mind me.
No, Rainbow Six.
URL
Rainbow
right
Six. Excuse me, it's not Vegas.
Rainbow Six Vegas. That's a video game. That's not a
the
book.
game. No, that book's pretty sweet though.
Is that a book?
Yeah, it is.
Vegas?
Rainbow Six. Not Vegas.
I know Rainbow Six is a fucking book. I'm not
No.
an ingrate.
It may be like a short one that they did, maybe a comic or something, but no. I don't even know if the book was made into a game. I mean, the characters are definitely relevant, but I don't know if that story. It's a very interesting story. Anywho, check that out.
At audibletrial.com/dapper. That is Dapper, Dapper.
It's not diaper. Don't
No.
type that in or we'll get angry.
We would. Well, what would happen
really
is that we
sad.
wouldn't know, and then we wouldn't get our $15, and then
And
we wouldn't be able to pay the hosting, and then the podcast would stop existing.
You would probably not get your free trial to audible.com, so that would work out for nobody.
They'd probably
and,
just give
and
it to you.
who knows where the
anyways.
internet's going to take you with that URL address. You don't want to. It could take you anywhere.
It'd probably take you to Audible, because
We'll take you to Audible.
you're still going to Audible. It's just
It's like,
just
here's-
the last part
Here's
is wrong.
Here's a book about diapers.
It might just 404 you.
Yep.
You want
Oh,
to
like, this
listen
page
to this
doesn't
book
exist.
about diapers on Audible.com?
But no, seriously, if you're into audiobooks and you want to support this podcast, please go get a trial. Please.
We're begging you.
We need to pay our hosting. We got to keep the lights on around here. Not the lights in these rooms, but
Nope, these ones.
the people that we pay to host the podcast. They need to keep their lights on. Or more importantly, keep our podcast on their servers. Because I got a weird request this week. Someone asked me to put up old episodes of the podcast, like the audio only, and I can't because I don't have the fucking space to put it up. You people, send us money, and I'll
What's
fucking
up?
put them up. I just need to buy more bandwidth.
Give us the money. We
They're like-
we like the bandwidth.
I only get to have like 2 gigabytes of storage, not bandwidth, just storage on the server. And so, I mean, it's full. I can keep like 15 episodes of the podcast on there. So, I mean, if you guys want to give me money, I'll expand the storage. But,
Or you could give me money and I'll blow it on chocolate bars almost instantaneously. Which won't
Don't give
get you
them.
anything, it'll get me chocolate bars. So
Yeah.
Think about that.
or you could give me money and I'll spend it on video games. Or beer. I like beer. Man, stop eating your fucking chips. Jesus Christ.
They're not
Finish
chips,
that
They're mint.
finish that mint
Whatever
and then
they are, they crunch.
Let's get going.
stop
Let's get
crunching
going.
on your goddamn mints.
Dude, I can't. It's a habit I have.
Then stop eating mints on the podcast.
I can't stop.
We're just
Damn
like
it.
we're just like do this, and then just continue eating.
We'll flip it up. Works.
Yeah,
We'll
we're
come,
cool.
we'll come back, and now we're gone, and now we're back. It's that simple.
Okay.
All right, let's get rolling again. Enough of this. Enough of this weird stuff.
Okay, good enough. So, I had another weird request. Someone emailed me about. Did you get a weird email?
I got a weird Facebook message.
Yeah, I said email, but I really meant Facebook message and a message on all of my other social media, but not the email that I have listed on my YouTube channel. Just
Oh, that's weird.
fucking all of my social media. There's like a big on the channel is like, want to contact us? Email us here.
Directly. No, this one. And there was.
And it's just like,
absolutely
here's a Twitter message, here's a Facebook message, here's like fucking yeah. Okay, I dealt with that. Sort of.
Okay.
I emailed the address purely out of curiosity because it was an AOL address, and I was like, who the fuck uses AOL?
AOL is that's the
My
dark
grandparents
times,
do.
man.
I know.
That's the dark times.
I was just real confused. But yeah, I dealt with that. So let's jump into some newsy stuff. Cause things happened. So Steam Dev Days was like this week. Do you know what that is at all?
No, I don't.
Oh. Maybe I'm the only one who knows.
I don't think it was a week. It was like a couple days, wasn't it, or something?
Well, I mean, it was this week. Like, it was half of
Oh,
this
it was
week.
this week. All right, I thought you meant like it lasted a week. I'm like, I don't think anything ever lasts a whole week.
No, it was like 4 days or something like that. It's longer than PAX because there's like a lot of keynote speak. Like, there's a lot of presentations by Valve about why game developers should do what Valve is doing, and then put their games on Steam to make Valve more money, and also put their games on Linux to make Valve more money.
More money.
They're like, hey guys, you know what you should do? Release your games on Linux. Hey guys, you know what you should do? Go back to using OpenGL so you can release your games on Linux. Hey guys, you know what works really well? Hats. And
Give us money, and so we cannot use it on Half-Life 3. Yes, I made that joke. Thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you.
But
I made a Half-Life 3 joke. It's so good today.
So your only developers are allowed at Steam Dev Days. So I might go next year because I could have went this year but didn't have time or money. But next year I'll be graduated and working in the industry as a programmer on games and not a student that works in the industry as a programmer. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I could have went this year, but I didn't have money or time because I'm a student and not a full-time employee. So there's no press allowed. So I wouldn't be doing like con coverage where I walk up to random people who are there for professional reasons and go like, what do you like about Steam Dev Days? I'm gonna harass you. But
Can you tell us some off the record stuff on the record? I don't know exactly like how it goes, but like I'm pretty sure that the majority of the stuff there is like supposed to be off the record, and like you just show up. It's like, I know it's supposed to be off the record, but come on, you got to throw me a bone here. Come on.
But yeah, they had two kind of announcements at Dev Days regarding things that they're doing. So they changed the controller design on the Steam controller.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Did you see that?
Yeah, they're ditching the touchscreen, right?
Yeah, they're getting rid of the touchscreen and just leaving it as 4 big buttons.
Yeah.
Because of backwards compatibility reasons, because it would not work well with games that already exist.
Wonder if it's user feedback too. Maybe a lot of people liked it. They got the
also
systems.
Cost.
That's true.
I mean, Razer developed a whole keyboard that was that, and then never released it because it would be expensive.
Yeah.
To have a bunch of tiny little displays that change depending on what game you're playing.
Yeah.
But that was one thing. But then they also their VR headset that they announced.
Right.
Which actually apparently is a lot better than Oculus. According to like people who used it. They're like,
okay.
this is clearly like a whole generation ahead of the Oculus Rift. Like it is leaps and bounds better.
That's pretty nuts. I thought I read a headline that said it fell short, but maybe it was the other way around.
There's a requirement about it that people probably don't like, which is that you need to have like, they have markers on the walls for the head tracking, so you have to like put markers on your walls. But they announced that they're also going to continue to work on like, or at least continue trying to support Oculus and like doing more stuff for that.
That's cool.
Because at this point, Valve are the only people who have really done anything to properly support VR. Like, pretty much up until this week when they added the VR support for Steam. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
You don't, like, you can use like big picture mode or whatever within like without taking off like the Oculus Rift. Like, you can switch between games.
That's wicked.
And so like until now, using like the Oculus Rift, nothing has supported like general like use, not actually a game basically.
Yeah.
And so if you wanted to play a different game, like you used to have to take it off, like get everything set back up, and like
then get back in,
open up a new game, set it all up to work with Oculus, and then put the Oculus Rift on, and it's kind of a inconvenience, I guess.
Yeah,
but
basically.
By basically putting in like an Oculus Rift mode into Steam, then they call it like VR mode.
Right.
Then it shows obviously that Valve has some interest in continuing to support all VR, not just theirs.
Not just theirs. That's pretty nice though. I'm guessing if they didn't, all the people that already have it would be pretty angry about it. But not, I mean, like, not that you couldn't use it though, even if they didn't add that feature in. But
Yeah, it's just a pain in the ass.
yeah, and it's probably a huge push forward too to have an actual platform to be working on, rather than just doing it by games. So,
Yeah.
man.
Especially because this year, even though it's probably not going to be the year that like VR becomes the thing,
Yeah,
like I'm still looking forward to Oculus Rift like moving forwards, like just getting better. Like they put in the 1080p displays
yeah.
recently.
Yeah, I haven't been following Oculus Rift that much, but like every time I do hear a bit of news about it, it's usually like an opinion of someone who has used it, and they're always like, "I just played Sonic Generations in the Oculus Rift, and my eyes were just enchanted by the wonders that were happening in front of me," and I'm just like sitting here like, I want this thing, because if this is what everyone I'm hearing it from is saying, I'm gonna jizz my pants as soon as I put this thing on.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
Well,
that exact phrase too.
Oh, that is exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone who's 10 out of 10 would jizz again. All the Oculus Rift promotional material.
it's not like what they're doing with Oculus is like not been done before, but it's the first time that I feel like
Virtual Boy.
well, there's other stuff like you could head tracking, for example, you could do on PC forever, like the last 10 years. Head tracking is when you move your head, the screen adjusts the image so that it looks like you moved. That kind of stuff has existed for a while, but it's not. It's the first time where the market is ready for it and the hardware is good enough, like the PC hardware is good enough to actually power it well, I think, like without too much of a hit, like a performance hit, or at least like fidelity hit, I guess, because you wouldn't accept the performance hit. Like you're not going to be playing games at 60 FPS and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm going to use Oculus, and now you're playing them at 15. It's like you don't want to cut texture quality or like model, like polygon count, for example. Like you don't want to cut it down so that it looks like a fucking PS1 game. But because that sort of ruins that experience for me, I would say.
Yeah.
If your AAAs had to look like PS1 games, God, it would ruin that. I think I'd just rather play the better looking games than new games that look like PS1. But like we're finally at the point where I think the hardware there to support it is at the right place. And so it's like the only piece of hardware. The Oculus Rift is basically the only piece of hardware that I'm actually excited for, which has not existed in quite a while because graphics cards don't get their same like huge leaps and bounds that they did, like when you went from like the 7000 series of GeForce to the 8000 series, or when you went from the the 4-digit numbering in NVIDIA cards to the 3-digit GTX series, and like you don't get those leaps and bounds in other PC hardware anymore. Okay. And so like the Oculus Rift is really the only piece of hardware of the last like 5 years that's interesting. So
I'm certainly looking forward to it. I'm looking to get my hands on it when it comes out, because I've always been entranced in the idea, because like I forget exactly like what I've heard about it exactly, but it's like I forget if I've heard that people actually like legit feel they're not like in their rooms or whatever, but although I guess that should be part of the thing anyway, but they just say that. I guess they just say that it definitely like it looks great and it like it's responsive and stuff like that. It's like as long as it gets like that basic stuff down, like I'll probably still feel my butt on my regular computer chair as I always do, but in the meantime I'll be whatever games are on the Oculus Rift right now. I forget what's on there right now. But.
Team Fortress 2, I think.
Minecraft has a little bit of support.
Does it?
Yeah,
I don't know if it's official or not, but I've seen it being played on it. It would be amazing.
I'm totally looking forward to it. It should prove to be interesting, if nothing else. Even if it somehow all this good press that it's getting, by the time it comes out, just something horrible went wrong and it turns out to be absolute shit, it'll still be interesting. So
John Carmack's making a game for it.
Not sure who that is.
yeah, this is my unprofessionalism is showing here. I don't know who that is right now.
He founded id. He made the id engine and like Doom.
Oh, okay. Derp. Sorry. Okay, we're good now.
They
I'm
made
up to
like
speed.
he made like the first FPS, and they made Quake.
All right, I got it.
He made like the first FPS games.
I'm up to speed. I got it. I'm a professional video gamer, guys. Don't worry about me.
Hey, now I'm interested. Now that I know what it's about.
But he's making a game because he's their chief technology officer. He left id Software to join Oculus because he's like, I actually can do something interesting here and not make another Rage. The game Rage. He made the game Rage.
Yeah, I've never played it, but I'm familiar.
Okay. But yeah, there was just like some sort of interesting stuff coming out of Steam Dev Days regarding like their controller and VR stuff and sort of stuff that we expected anyways, or at least I expected, because this is stuff I'm interested in because it's directly related to my job. So
it makes sense to be interested in it.
Yeah. Besides that, fuck, what else? PlayStation Now.
I don't have a PlayStation 4, and yet that sounds pretty awesome, I think.
Yeah, those
It's
words
for PlayStation 3 as well.
Oh, okay.
You remember when they announced the PlayStation 4? They announced their purchase of the Gaikai
Yeah.
Streaming service and like that technology. They renamed it to PlayStation Now. So PlayStation Now is like their streaming service for games. And it's only going to support PS3 games, and it's going to be on PS3 in the closed beta this month.
Wait, only PS3? I thought it was also PS1 and PS2.
Eventually.
Oh,
But they're doing like a closed beta this month.
Okay,
That's only on PlayStation 3 systems with PS3 games, I think. But
okay, well, because I thought it was like if it was just PS3 games, I'm just like, why? But all right.
Like at first, it might be only PS3 games, even on like the PS4. But I mean, I don't know.
I still think it's as someone who doesn't have a PS4 or a PS3. There's probably like something I'm missing here or whatever, but just like from an outsider perspective, it sounds really cool. Except for as of right now, you can't do PS2 or PS1. But when that does happen, if it does, that sounds like it'll be totally awesome.
The problem that I have with it is the same problem that I have with OnLive when OnLive still existed, and that's that the game, like the quality of games is gonna suck. Just because of, like, the responsiveness, the lag. Because, like, this is a field that I work in, and so I kind of know a lot about this stuff. And, I mean, best case, you're going to be looking at, like, 40 milliseconds latency, which would make most games unplayable. Like, you couldn't play a racing game with 40 milliseconds latency on inputs.
Ew.
Or a fighting game. Or any kind of game where you have to respond to things.
Which is pretty much a lot of games.
Like, there's a few games that would work really well. Like, all of the Final Fantasy games.
Well, yeah.
Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross.
Let's just start listing off every RPG that's come out.
All of the JRPGs, none of the WRPGs, because they're not turn-based.
Yeah, turn-based, yeah.
XCOM would work. That's an RTS. Or no, it's not an RTS. It's a tactics game.
Yeah, RTSs wouldn't work.
RTSs would not work. That is
card battle games.
Card games, Magic.
Poker Night at the
Planeswalkers.
Well, maybe, I mean, obviously, I'm not as fluent in this field as you are, obviously, but maybe, I don't know, maybe somehow they'll fix that issue. I don't know if
I don't know how they would do it without you just like downloading the game and running it on your system, which defeats the purpose of streaming the
I don't know. Like, all I know is that they'll have to figure it out, because if it's as bad as you're saying, then it's like, why even launch a service in the first place if a lag like that is going to deem a lot of your games unplayable?
I think it's just because they bought it and now they have to do something with it, because they're like, we spent all this money, we better do something with this.
Or they could just be like, hey, your shit doesn't work, can I have my money back, please? Okay, thanks.
But they're talking about some interesting business models in comparison to, like, let's say OnLive, where you just bought games. Like, well, you didn't buy them, you rented them. You could buy them and then you would not have to, but like you would still be streaming them, so that was shit. But in this, like, you don't buy the games, you can rent them like you would rent a movie, I guess, or a game, but you stream it. So it's like, you have access to this game for 3 days and you stream the game for 3 days. But they are also talking about doing like a subscription service, a lot like Netflix, which is interesting because there's like no subscription services for games. So.
Right.
Well, that should be interesting.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting concept, but I think we've talked about it a couple times on the podcast, though.
Yeah, we've talked about this basically like when they announced the PS4, and I was like,
yeah,
the latency's so shit you can't play games. And then we talked about it another time. I can't remember when.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Maybe they will figure out a way to fix the problems, and everyone will stream it, and everyone will live happily ever after with their other console games. Everyone will be able to stream their games, and they'll all be happy. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool idea. I just don't have much faith in it.
Well,
at this time, I have no faith in it because like. They showed it off at CES, and like they were doing demos, and people were like, "Wow, it's really responsive and it's working really well." At least on like OnLive, they didn't try to hide it. They were like, "This is working really well," and people like asked them like, where the servers are, and they're like, "Oh, see at the end of the hall, those are the servers." And they're like, "Oh, okay then, that's why this works properly."
Yeah,
because when those servers aren't in my house. This will be shit. Like, optimistically, you're looking at a 40 millisecond response rate. More likely, you're looking at like 100. So,
it's all depending on where the server is at.
Yeah, well, it depends on where the servers are at, whether or not you're on cable internet or DSL.
Yeah,
because DSL is really bad for that kind of stuff. DSL is really shit for streaming. It's just because of how like DSL ping is affected by distance. So I guess DSL wouldn't be like isn't shit for like streaming Netflix because it's a non-interactive medium. So I mean, you're not interacting with it. Like you start playing as long as you have enough bandwidth to consistently receive all of the packets in order, then you're good. But like a game, you have to send something back to it, so it's just gonna be kind of fucked.
A little bit.
One of those things. We're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. I think. I don't know.
I think in a couple years it might not be bad, but with the internet infrastructure that we have in North America, it would be awful for now.
Yeah,
but whatever.
Only time will tell.
Unless they're magicians and they fixed something that I don't think many people deem as a fixable thing. Like, most network engineers would be like, no, I can't fucking do that. I can't just eliminate ping. How do you just get rid of ping? But especially what's considered...
Ping is life. Ping is the universe. We need it.
Especially when you have, 40 milliseconds is considered a good ping. Like, that's a good ping for pretty much all applications. Is like, how do I get lower than that?
How do I get like 0 ping? How about that?
If we didn't have ping, what would we complain about in games?
You can't even get down to 0 because you literally get to the point where like you're waiting for the latency of lines. Like it's just like like there's just resistance in the line. Like you can't get it any lower. That's the problem that Valve was having and did a lot of research into regarding VR, was that VR is really latency sensitive regarding the output of images into like the headset, because it's really disorienting when the image lags behind by like a couple milliseconds.
Yeah.
And so they're like, how do we get rid of literally just the latency that you get from having something connected with a copper wire? Like, how do you
Platinum wire. Boom.
how do you pass a signal through a wire and make a wire with no resistance? Like these basically impossible physics problems, and it's like, how do I
Valve will solve
how do I
them.
fix this?
Technology. This is the future.
This is why they can't complete Half-Life 3, because they're working on impossible projects.
Yeah, basically. But
At this point, Half-Life 3 is an impossible project anyway. So there we go. We can throw that in.
Boom. Boom,
But yeah,
roasted Valve.
I think that's
Come get me, Gabe. I'm right here.
He just pops up behind you.
I know. I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh
It-
fuck. Well, there we go.
It could happen.
that's
I don't doubt it for a second.
that's pretty much it for news this week. We're still in winter, so there's two things that are happening. No one is releasing games.
And
No one is
hibernation.
making any news because no one's releasing a game. Like, I think
Damn.
the first like big game of the year is Thief, which is not until next month, the end of next month on the 28th. And
That's a
Thief is
while.
going to be bad.
Says
So-
you.
It says
I'm
the
gonna go
guys
ahead-
making
I'm not-
the
I'm not getting
game
in this
because
fight.
they're like,
Not
we're going to
even-
make a Thief game, guys, but you're going to be able to fucking fight 5 guards at once. Aren't our stealth games really good when you don't have to be stealthy? Like,
Well, maybe there'll be like a difficulty level, and it's like on the not easy difficulty level, you shouldn't do that. I don't know.
everyone who's played that game at like cons and stuff has had nothing good to say about it, and they've already
Oh.
ruined the story and stuff. Like, I really loved the first 3 Thief games because they're great games, but there's magic and stuff in them, and it has like this really interesting world with these crazy like factions and this insane political like struggle.
They don't have that in the new one.
No, they're like, who needs magic? This is a medieval world, or not like a medieval world, but like a slightly pre-industrialization world, and so that magic's stupid, so we don't need magic.
Silly man.
We're fans of the real Thief games, the first 3, the ones with magic, but how dare we have magic? And so it's just like, I don't know, they made the world just really boring and sound unattractive.
Eh.
But whatever. Do any of you guys have any news or anything you want to talk about?
No, besides that, Gabe posted on Reddit, and he posted a picture of himself on it. I thought that was funny.
Whoa. Gabe posted a picture
Of himself on Reddit, because they're like, hey, prove that it's you. So he did it. Proved everybody wrong.
It could have just been a guy looking up a pic, or maybe I don't know. Maybe it was a new picture. I don't know. Whatever. I didn't follow it because I didn't want to go to the Reddit because I knew like half of the things there, not even half, like 75% would be, where's Half-Life 3 there?
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
true.
Whenever
But he
I
only
don't-
did it for charity. He was only going to do the AMA once there was $500,000 in donations.
Right.
I don't know. It's like I'm
Good
I'm
guy,
cursed.
Gabe.
I am doomed forever to automatically picture in my mind whenever anything Valve goes along. I just automatically in my mind I'm doomed to forever think that everyone collectively is all gonna go something with it's like I want Half-Life 3 to get made already, not even because I want to play the game, but just because I want everyone to shut the fuck up. It's driving me insane. I don't
So-
care. Just make the fucking game so you can stop talking about it. God.
So I've got another piece of news that I forgot about because
Unprofessional. I'm just
I was too busy to like, normally when I'm like reading game news, I like take notes for the podcast so that I have like a sheet of talking points.
You didn't take notes?
Didn't take notes this week.
Oh my
So,
god. Man, come on.
So in the last 3 months,
Too much
Steam
Banner
has gained
Saga.
10 million new users.
Steam has?
Yeah.
That's
3 months ago, they announced that they were at 65 million, and now they're at 75 million.
It's all
65 million? No, because they only count their users based on active users, which is like logged in the last month. So a lot, they have way more inactive accounts. But that's a 15% growth in 3 months, and that's insane.
Not bad at all. That's not bad at all.
Especially when you consider other gaming networks, like Xbox Live only has 45 million users, and it's the next biggest.
And Wii U has like 5.
Man,
not
I
even
wish
million,
more
just
people
5.
owned Wii U.
I like the Wii U. I'm sad.
I own one, and I have no one to play Monster Hunter with.
I'm just sitting here waiting for Mario Kart and Smash Bros. To come out, and I'm like, those are like the only games that are coming out. I mean, I know.
Do
there's
you
more.
own one yet, or?
I have one.
Oh, dude, you should buy Monster Hunter and play it with me.
I should. There's a lot of okay. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, but there's a decent amount
Of good games.
Yeah, like I haven't gotten Pikmin 3 yet. I still want to get that.
That was a good game, but Monster Hunter is better.
I've heard a lot of good things about Monster Hunter, but Monster Hunter sounds like the kind of game that it's like I need to be able to like dedicate like, okay, mom, don't bother me for 6 hours. I have to kill this giant dude with
It only takes 55 minutes because that's the time limit on a monster fight.
I don't know. It just Monster Hunter just like sounds like one of those games where it's like you need to.
It consumes you in a huge way.
Yeah,
I put 400 hours in last year into Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate.
Yeah, it sounds like one of those games where it's like you need to make sure that there's literally nothing important in your life going on right now. You need to be a boring person in order to have the time to play this game. That's what it sounds like.
Me and my friend just played Monster Hunter online all the time, or Monster Hunter Ultimate online all the time. It's it's really good.
So I've heard. I definitely want to try it, but I say that about like every single game ever. So I don't know. Time, man. It's always about time. If like every day was like 42 hours or 48, I'm sorry, 48 instead of 24, I think people get there'd be a lot more done. Like if the sun didn't go down in like 12 hours, if it went down in like 24 hours, I don't know. If time was longer, but it's not, so I can't play all these games because I got shit to do. I hate it.
Agreed.
Come on, God, give me a refund here. Cut me loose here. Shoot me. A thing. I was trying to finish a sentence, but I couldn't, so it just sounded like shoot me. I'm like, oh wait, no,
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Shoot me with love. Pink cuddly love.
Okay, give me Kirby. Yay!
So
Or Jigglypuff, either one. I don't care. I'll take both.
So it's about that time that we wrap up normally, I think. Unless anyone has any more topics. You got any topics, man? You holding out on me, Tyler? You have topics? I bet you have topics. I bet you do.
I'll save them for
Tyler?
next time. Trust me,
Looking at you.
I got millions. We could go on forever.
Well, give us like 2 of those millions.
It's too hard to pick, you know. I gotta narrow them down. I can't act on this.
You'll still have 999,998 left over. You can afford a spare 2. Come on.
I can't say I have a million, then it's kind of a bummer.
Oh, you're a liar. I see how it is.
All right, he doesn't have a million unless at least, I don't know, 30 of them are about how there's not enough dildo bats in video games. Because that's true. Saints Row 3, only game with a dildo bat.
There's gotta be more.
No. Shadow Warrior.
Does Shadow Warrior have it?
Yeah, then they get the crossover pack that for that's the game.
I didn't think it included the dildo bat from Saints Row 3. I thought it had a bunch of other stuff though.
I'm pretty sure.
Like it has the katana from Hotline Miami.
Time to Google games with purple dildo bats.
Yep.
Doesn't have to be purple. I mean, it could be it
Games
could
with
be multicolored.
dildo bats. Games with a variety of dildo bats.
Wow.
Saints Row is the only one that came up.
Look at what happens when we run out of topics.
We talk about dildo bats.
So, let's actually wrap up before
this takes a terrible turn.
Yeah, it could go a lot darker than this.
A terrible turn. I don't know what you're talking about. Taking a wonderful turn as far as I'm concerned.
In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to be under a bridge trying to blow a dude for heroin. That's how dark this podcast is going to get. But,
I don't know about that, but okay.
The next 5 minutes are going to be real rough on my life. I'm going to lose all of my money. I'm going to develop a terrible heroin addiction. I'm just, normal gaming podcast pitfalls. You become a heroin addict and blow dudes.
You do that.
for
I'm
junk.
gonna go back to staring at my wall. You do that.
Alrighty then, let's wrap this up. I've been your host, Ryan. He's been Tyler. He's been Chris.
I've been a guy who is just here.
He's been SmashMaster of the SmashMaster Show. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, or other, for
other beings,
watching and or listening.
Don't forget to subscribe. Plug.
Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe to us.
To Dapper
Actually,
Gaming and me, but most importantly me. I'm the most important.
Sub to him, but super importantly, leave iTunes reviews if you listen to this podcast, please. It helps with our metrics really substantially, actually. Leave iTunes reviews. Rate the podcast on iTunes, please. And thank you.
Don't forget to go to audible.com/whatever it was.
audibletrial.com/dapper
There we
for
go.
your free audiobook. No, we don't need that one. We only need to roll the ad once, but...
Well, you know what?
Can't hurt.
I'm sitting here going, you know what? We need it one more time. We need it
One
one
more
more
time.
time. So that way, stuff happens.
Next time we might even make you read the ad. That's how fucking crazy we are.
Oh, dude, too far, man. There's only so much I can take.
It's too much responsibility, I know, right? But
I can't handle all the pressure. man.
we'll run out of book suggestions eventually. I don't think Tyler and I read enough books. I haven't even read any of the books that I suggested last week.
I only read like one book recently, and it was The Disaster Artist. It's based on the making of The Room, and it's and any of you watching who saw The Room or know what The Room is, you got to read this book. It's tits, or I thought it was tits.
I only read books about math or math related things.
I think that anything that I like is tits. So I've seen a lot of tits.
Boom.
And they weren't even real tits though, so that's the sad part. But oh well.
They were implants.
I don't even know. Okay.
It's okay. I was gonna
we're
get
ending on tits. Goodbye.
Goodbye.